Greeting my fellow modelers. I hope you're all having a great day. So, let us finish completing the wings and add auxiliary panel and some JDAMs. Let's begin. The wing panel assembly should be pretty much straightforward. As you can see, here now it gets a bit technical where, remember, you have to cut those slots because they're going to be compound curve or folded when the time comes. Here we're doing a formwork for the trailing edge. If you notice, I score lightly so that in the close-up you see me trying to bend where I scored that. And then we lift these basically because they will conform with the fuselage. See, it's now a bit more pronounced, that curve. It's all explained in the diagram provided by YOAV HOZMI. And then we use a straight edge to make sure we have a perfect fold. And now we put in the wing panel reinforcement. So this is to prevent it from warping when you build a model at a larger scale. However, because of the thickness paper we're using, it's not absolutely necessary, but it does add to the structural integrity. And here we're putting in our trailing edge. Lovely. And there you go. Now we make sure that the walkway indicators are aligned with the wing panel and the fuselage. We check, we make sure it's aligned, and then we can glue into position. Awesome. And there you have it. Lovely set of wings with invasion stripes on it. I have to admit, YOAV F-16 is really a wonderful piece of art. The only thing missing is putting landing gears on that baby. And here now is where I go through and start painting areas to give it a more realistic look, especially catching the edges. Now, many modelers will do this before they join parts. I usually do it sometime before, sometime after. There's no hard and fast rule. It's just taking your time and making sure your model looks pretty good and finding the colors that closely match what the actual shades are on your model. And then at this point, I usually use a Q-tip to rub the colors in so it blends nicely, leaving no sharp edges. You do this before the paint actually dries, as you can see here what I'm doing. So it blends in lovely with the colors that's originally there. Nice. So let's build ourselves some JDAMs. Well, I have to admit, I really found it a bit difficult building it at this scale. I'm sure that it's supposed to be a whole lot easier when you build it at the original scale that you have had it at, which is 1/30 scale. It's a pretty big aircraft. But here you see I'm just using a toothpick to make the holes properly. And you can pay attention to how I fold things, how I curve things to pretty much get the JDAM done. I found out that YouTube has not been functioning as it should. So just in case you have not hit that subscribe button, I'm asking please if you could, and leave a comment telling me what you'd like to see me focus on in the next model. If there's anything I'll tell a modeler, the most important thing besides getting the right glue for your model is getting a good set of tweezers. They really help in the long run in helping you build a really decent model. And again, the main thing here is just taking your time, having the patience. Sometimes the parts get so small that I end up using a toothpick to roll the parts, as you can see, and it really adds up. There you go. Our JDAM slowly taking shape. I really appreciate all of you who take this journey with me, seeing how I do my builds, and I really hope you continue with that journey. My dream really is to do as much paper models as possible, learning from my mistakes so you can build yours probably much easier, and we all enjoy the hobby. At least that's my dream. So let's get on with the pylon assembly. In the final installation of this series, I am definitely going to get in touch with YOAV and then put the link in the description to each of these so that you can freely download his Israeli color scheme, which is epic. And I would strongly advise you to try this build. He released it, it costs nothing, but it gives seriously top-notch work. There you go. It's just a former to give it depth, and then we just put a little bit of tack glue and we glue the pylon to the bottom first. Make sure it's properly aligned. Repeat the step and then we install it. So here's another 2 set of assembly for the inner pylons, the auxiliary fuel tank. We use a brush handle and we use our toothpick to really help with the bending of the cardstock, and then we join everything just like we did with the JDAMS. What I love about the F-16 is that it just looks small and yet still carries an aggressive stance. To me, it is like the honey badger of the Air Force. Occasionally you will see when I'm assembling cylindrical objects, I have a tendency to, after aligning, to push down to make sure the joints butt against each other properly, because this helps so much when it comes to making sure you have proper form. And then the tweezers we use to make sure the joints stay aligned. Now this is where you're putting the cylindrical object on the inside of the tail section of the tank. And then we put the circular piece here on the end. It will turn out to be recessed. Now I cut a little excess so I have a little space to help with the gluing. But there you go. Looking good. And then we join everything together. And then we repeat it for a second time. And there you have it. Now remember, this is again just 1/72 scale. I can't imagine it being harder when you work at a larger scale. So please don't feel intimidated because you see me build it at this scale, which is very small. The larger scale will be much better. There you go, a lovely fuel tank. And then of course we have the pylon that we will attach the fuel tank to, and then to the wing. Well guys, pretty much this will be it for this episode. We have about 2 more episodes and then I'm going to release this in the Israeli scheme so you can try it for yourself, totally free of cost, courtesy of YOAV. So my friends, spread the word, share my channel, I really would appreciate it. And above all my friends, enjoy life, be at peace, chill, relax, and above all, as we say in my country, one love.